Hi, my name is Tyree Jones, and I'm going to be talking about my typography final called The Hand and the Type. So I'm going to be talking about my inspiration and why I'm making this project. I'm making this project purely to appreciate the visual impact of letter forms because they are often overlooked symbols that have defined human communication for thousands of years. And so I wanted to play with the connection of humans and technology. The project aims to bridge the imperfection of the human hand with the perceived perfection of technology. Despite computers being perceived as perfect, it was all created by a human, with typography being a massive part of direct human impact on technological communication. So typefaces that were taken for granted, such as Times New Roman, was still created by a person, Stanley Morrison. The project also plays with the importance of red in both technology and human processing. The color red was used for this project because it is the first identifiable color to the human eye besides black and white when we are infants. And it's a major color in computer processing, specifically in the red, green, blue color model. Red was also one of the only colors used in prehistoric cave paintings, such as the one above. It was found in Argentina, and it is over 10,000 years old. So it is a part of the first modes of communication between all of us. So here's my mood board and my thumbnails. As stated earlier, the primary color is red for this project because of its history and connection with both prehistoric and current communication styles. It also just stands out and calls attention to itself. A couple iterations for this project explored making letter forms out of rocks, as you can see in my thumbnails, or using pens and a pin board to chaotically layer string until the layers were visible. But I ended up settling on a grid structure, and using yarn is my material. So the yarn is used because it's typically associated with handmade items, and this piece specifically highlights the man-made qualities of the perfection of a letter form. And then I wanted to use the grid structure because grid structure and usage of only straight lines emulates the perfection of technology. So how would my human hands look creating something that's supposed to be perfect technologically? The whole project is about exploring how those two worlds collide. And now I'm going to be talking about my process. So I started with a grid on graph paper, and I created the letter form within the grid. And then I drew straight lines around the letter form until I had the shapes that I desired. You can see those straight lines, how they make curves all around, and they create the T letter. I labeled each axis and marked down which pieces of yarn needed to be tied to which points on the grid. You can see that below the grid itself. I made the physical grid using a picture frame and metal wire that you can bend. And finally, I just started stringing all of the yarn piece by piece using the grid structure that you see drawn below. So these are the final images. The man-made quality is apparent, which allows the viewer to appreciate the finer workings between both the human hand and technology. You can see where both things really come into play. I specifically left the strings uncut at the bottom to exaggerate the woven and imperfect ideology behind the work. Thank you.